Welcome to the Versa Business Tips Podcast. I'm your host, founder and CEO of Versa Business Systems, Shaheen Mazloom. We're here with a tech entrepreneur today. He helps people scale and grow their businesses. Mohamed, how you doing today, brother?
How are you, Shaheen? Great to
I'm
have
doing
you.
well. Thanks for joining us today, Mo.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So for those out there that don't know who you are, tell us a little about yourself and your brand, Boundless Founder.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a serial entrepreneur and a book author. I started my career as an engineer in software. I worked at Amazon, Microsoft. I was for a long time in their cloud offerings. And then I got the startup bug at a certain point, and I decided to co-found my own company. That was a few years ago. And with lots of work, lots of dark days, some sunny days, good days, we were able to endure the journey, go
The
through
high
it.
highs and the low lows.
Exactly. And we got lucky. We sold the company after multiple failed attempts to sell it, and we're going to talk about that. And yeah, I decided to write a book about it, and from that point, I wanted to really take what I learned and help entrepreneurs to build resilience and the right mindset to first of all get started and then scale after that their businesses and startups.
Absolutely. So you brought up a couple points. So mindset obviously is half the battle, right? But you also mentioned luck. You said we got lucky and eventually sold the company. Was it really luck, or did you create the luck?
That's it's definitely a mix of both, right? You need to, first of all, you need to stay in the game long enough so that you get lucky. That's number one, right? So, and then number two, you need to definitely keep your eye and your mind open to what sometimes maybe look like huge setbacks or problems that you're going through, but you can turn them into opportunities. And then lots of stories,
absolutely.
we hear definitely from others. And I personally went through that. And that's why mindset, as you just mentioned, is 50% of your success, if not more.
Absolutely. Sometimes you have to rebuild from scratch. Sometimes you just got to start over, right? Like you just can't give up.
And actually, that what happened for me actually in my startup when I got started. We pivoted actually 3 times our product. And when you pivot, you almost just rip the piece of paper that you had and you kept drawing and making it look beautiful and just start from scratch. And that's what we did. And actually, even with that, sometimes you have to even rebuild your team. You get the nutrition, or you realize that you need different skill set. So you basically hit the reset button, which is really hard for entrepreneurs, especially if you're invested in your idea.
Right.
But yeah, that's also part of it. Again, mindset would drive a lot. And actually, this is one of the reasons why I decided to write my book about it. The Inside Out Entrepreneur.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a huge technology right now is just like when you think about the internet age, right? And then now we're going into the AI age, right? There is just so many new companies day in and day out. So it's people like you that have done it successfully meaning you exited, right? There's a lot of people that build businesses and end up with nothing, right? They worked really hard. They built a business, but they really just worked for their business, right? They made some money and then it had no value at the end, right? So for you to be able to build a software company, restart it multiple times, and then eventually exit for a lump sum of money is a huge accomplishment because most companies won't do that, right? What is it? 95% of startups fail in the first year, right? A lot of the times it's because they give up, but also I think a big part of it is bad advice, following bad advice, or not not getting advice, right? Not having not having a mentor, not having people to to bounce ideas off, or a community to to meet with and listen to, and so it's great that you've done that, and then now you're putting out a series of books about that experience. Is that right?
Correct. Yes. So
explain to me how the first one, how that process goes.
Absolutely. So the books are all the series of books are focused on what I call it building the entrepreneur.
Mm,
And if you take a look at the entrepreneurial ecosystem, you have the entrepreneur, you have the VC money, you have the other helping factors that exist around it. But the most critical piece is the entrepreneur. Is the person. He's the person. He or she the person that bring all of these together and make it
right.
happen. Right? They are the ones who just convert the spark that they get in their head into a reality, a multi-million-dollar business. Now, if you take a look at most of the books out there or the literature out there, they're focused on how to do more sales, how to do more marketing. This is important. You still need that.
Right. Yeah.
But what you need to really focus on is how do I make use of all of this together with the proper perspective? And actually, I share with you a story, maybe personal story about that. Before I started my first startup, I read all the books about about building a business,
Right.
how to do the sales, how to do the marketing, how to build a team, and so on, and how to validate the product. And I even took a few certificates and did some higher studies in that.
Right.
And yet, in the first 2 years, I did everything wrong that they said you should not do. Everything. And midway, I was saying, well, what the hell? Something wrong. I mean, why exactly is that? And the problem is when I just started to look inwards and focus on myself a bit, I was always thinking, look, I'm going to run out of money at this time. I'm going to fail because of this. I'm going to do, something bad is going to happen. And it was actually a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
And
100%. You have those negative thoughts produce negative results.
Exactly. And that's what I've seen when I, at that particular moment, I decided to go and talk with other entrepreneurs who are with me. And I remember I was talking with one entrepreneur, telling him, look, I just need you to tell me what is going on with you. Don't give me the LinkedIn updates. Everything is good and we're hired. And
right. Tell me the real.
Tell me the real updates.
Right.
And I'm not going to quote you for that. But and I realized that everyone is mentally struggling. And that would make them, unfortunately, number one, make the cost of building a business really monumental or high.
Oh yeah.
And that's number one. And even if you're successful, you may end up not losing yourself or losing a lot in between.
Yeah.
That doesn't need to happen. That's number one. And that's the goal of my actually first book. So the first book talks about, and the title actually explains it a bit, is the inside out entrepreneur. So in my point of view, I'm sharing lots of stories there that being an entrepreneur, it has to start from inside out. Yep. Once you master that part, you're almost 50% done. Yep. Now it's not one shot, do it and then forget about it. It's a process.
Oh yeah.
But you
got to continually learn and evolve. I was talking to someone earlier and they said, your business can only grow as much as you yourself grow. Exactly. Once you stop growing, then your business reaches its ceiling. You are the cap of your business. So if you stop growing and learning internally as yourself, your business will do the same.
Exactly. So that's one of it. And then the other thing, so actually I'm breaking it down in that book into different elements. So there's the mental element, which is the resiliency versus robustness, and there's so many things and how to define these. And I'm trying to use some engineering kind of analogies there with stories. And then there's also the other part that many also entrepreneurs, this is what I notice, ignore. I give you an example, your family. Yeah. I believe that the entrepreneur's family are as unique as the entrepreneur, him or herself.
Yes.
And they need to be in the journey with you. And being in the journey means that they need to know about the business and how it runs different than
100%. Too many entrepreneurs focus on this work-life balance. Forget work-life balance. It should be one. Exactly. This business is what is building this family, right? This business is why we can eat together at the dinner table every day, or why we can go on these trips every year, or what, and I completely agree. Yeah. Completely agree. It should be the family should know what's going on, what we're doing. 100%.
I'll give you even an example. When we raised our first $5 million for the company, my wife said, "Well, we're almost made it," and that actually reflected that she knows she also
She
needed to
didn't
be educated,
understand.
right,
Yeah.
about what is going on, what to expect, because
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that
That
much. There
doesn't
are
mean
companies
right.
that raise hundreds of millions and they ended
Yeah.
up bankrupt.
Yeah.
So setting the expectations.
Yeah.
Setting the expectations, for example, when you sell your company, it doesn't also mean that you're just once you sign, everything is done.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
process after that.
Yeah.
That would set the expectations and reduce the pressure that they have, on themselves and on you as well.
Them not knowing, and then also the pressure that we put on ourselves because we feel the pressure from them. Oh, 100%. I realized this. I'm newly married, right? So I got married in April. And that was one of the first things that my mom and my dad are still married. They celebrate 40 years in July.
Wow.
And
Kudos to them.
and in this day and age is unheard of, right? And one of the first things my dad said, he said, you've got to always make sure you're open about the business and the finances with your wife. She needs to understand at all times because it's very volatile. He said, but that's not just for her, it's for you as well, because otherwise you will put stress on yourself by, trying to, keep her hidden from the day-to-day problems.
Exactly.
Right.
And sometimes major events
Yeah.
are inevitable and you have to basically share it with them and also share another story.
It's a team, right? It's a team at the end of the day.
Yeah. One day, actually, we were about to be acquired and everything almost done. The acquiring company basically looked at our source code. They even looked at our finances, interviewed most of our team. And just 2 hours before signing the LOI, they backed off.
Yeah.
And for reasons that are outside of their hands.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to tell my wife, but
right.
I didn't know really how to tell her that because we were just dreaming of that day.
Right.
We were waiting for all of us for that day. And
yeah.
And one thing is, I said, look, I'm gonna just wait for a week, and it was definitely hard for me for a week, but it's really important to really stage how do you communicate all of that.
Yeah.
And how do you, first of all, heal yourself so that you're able also to give others, especially your family, because otherwise events like these can create really big cracks in your family. And that's part of it. Again, if we zoom back, this is just one dimension that my book is talking about. This is just to give your listeners an example of, for you as an entrepreneur, how do you really need to look at different conditions? 100%. And you and I were talking about it, just before the show. It's like, again, think of it like mountaineers, how they condition themselves.
Yeah.
Any mountaineer, no matter how experienced they are, they need to condition themselves before they head to the summit. Especially the bigger, the more challenging it is, the more preparation you need. Again, it doesn't matter how many times you've done it before. You have to do that. So again, the book is talking about the whole thing. You need to condition yourself, because if you did that, you're going to have the right mindset. You're going to have all the conditions around you being set properly. And then it's not going to be easy. It's still going to be challenging.
It's still never going to be easy. It's just going to be
exactly, but it's going to be more rewarding. It's going to help you to grow. So rather than becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy to fail, hopefully it's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy to grow and become something much bigger. If you look at it this way. And then the rest of my series actually starts now talking about, which is my next book. What are those timeless strategies that any entrepreneur need to have in mind? How do you become, the way that I call it, a super entrepreneur, right? If you think about it, and you were mentioning this earlier, most of the businesses fail in the first year. And there's one reason, in addition to the mindset. Unfortunately, a lot of the entrepreneurs do not actually build business.
Right.
Sometimes they build
a job,
something, either a job, or they build something for someone else. So because I'm coming from those high-tech startups that are usually raised from VCs, VCs have their own model and their own way to basically push startups to grow. The way VCs make money, just for everyone here, they they know that they will make the real money in 10 years from now, hopefully, when your startup is successful, either goes IPO or get acquired.
Yeah.
Okay, but the question here is, how do they show everyone that they made the right decision in between?
Yeah.
Very simple. They basically shoot for higher valuation of your startup. They want to go back to their board and tell them, I invested in Shaheen's company. It's worth $10 million last year, and we own 10%. Now this year, Shaheen raised another, whatever the number is, and he's worth now $20 million. So our $1 million now worth $2 million on paper.
Right.
Now, as a result of this is an inherent model within the VC industry.
Yep.
As a result of that, what VCs most of the time do, they add a tremendous pressure on entrepreneurs to make sure that their company look like more valuable company.
Yeah.
And as you and I know, this is not necessarily a healthy way to grow your business. Correct. Sometimes growing your business, you need to go slow because you need to build foundation, or sometimes you need to focus on the right fundamentals, not, let's say, the number of non-paying users. No, you need to make sure that there's money flowing in.
Yeah.
And that's actually what most entrepreneurs miss, unfortunately, especially first-time entrepreneurs. They go into that game of, how do I make sure that my company worth more? Because this is how they get the money from VC, and they forget the fundamentals.
Right.
And
it's funny. It's funny because I think a lot of the times it's focusing on the things that don't matter at the wrong time, right? So, for example, I was speaking with this guy the other day. He's like, I started a junk removal company. Okay. Mm-hmm. So he said he started this company and he paid, there's these ads. I forget the name of the company, but they put these ads. They're like, oh, we'll help you get an LLC and this, that, and the other. Right. So he paid this company all this money to get an LLC and a business bank account and a website and a this, that, and the other. I said, do you have a truck? Yes. Do you have customers? Well, no, I'm waiting for the LLC and the website and the. I'm like, bro, you don't need any of that. Yeah. You need customers. When you get customers, once you know you have a business, then you get the website and the LLC. You can do this as a solo what's it called? Solopreneur. Yeah. Right? You do it as a sole proprietor right now, any business. You don't need a business bank account and an LLC and a website and all that stuff. Get some customers first. Yeah. Right? I think a lot of the times we try to put the cart before the horse, and we try to, especially first-time entrepreneurs, or not so much first-time entrepreneurs, but first-time success, right? The first time an entrepreneur is like, "Ooh, I got something here. I got some good money coming in. Like I finally got it right." And then we start trying to put the cart before the horse and try to, just do things too soon.
Yeah,
right?
I absolutely, 100% agree. And same in software. Actually, I really liked, there are two analogies that Reid Hoffman, the co-founder of LinkedIn, really used. So one of them, he's saying, you know what, building a startup is like jumping off a cliff, right? And your main goal while you're in free fall is to build an airplane that will take you off before you crash to the ground.
Yes.
Right. And the problem is, exactly, that's true. So, and the main problem is that lots of entrepreneurs, you know what, they focus on the lavatory sign. Just to continue with the analogy, right? They focus on should the seats be leather or fabric?
Or carpet?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what they need is two wings and an engine.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Yes.
And then when they take off, now they can start.
Or they might not even need a plane. They may just need a parachute.
Or something like that. But
you know what I mean? Like it's,
exactly.
I love that. I love that analogy. It's so true.
Yeah, exactly.
So true.
And that's what unfortunately lots of entrepreneurs, fall into. And not because they're they're not experienced enough. A lot of them would have lots of experiences, but in the noise of everyday business and everything that you need, it's easy
everybody else. Oh, what do you have? This? Do you have that? Do you have the? It's all the noise and social media and the news and there's so much noise out there.
Exactly.
Years ago you didn't have that, right? Like, I mean, some people didn't even have a phone at the business. Right? Like, unless somebody was walking in, you didn't get the noise.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really important. And also another really quote that I really loved a lot, which is, and we usually use this in the product market fit. If you're not ashamed of the first release of your product, you've probably released too late.
And if you're not ashamed of yes, no, 100%. I love that.
Because at the end of the day,
you try to make it absolutely perfect. It's never, just get it out. If it's something some people will buy, get it out. It's the first release, get it out.
Exactly.
If it works and it's going to solve people's problems, get it out. Rush it out as quickly as possible.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's,
now, if it's dangerous or, of course you want to slow those things down. But if it works and it's going to solve people's problems, get it out as quickly as possible. You're right. People slow it down. And they're like, oh, well, maybe it should be red instead of blue. And, oh, maybe we should, add the logo on this side, and it's just like, come on.
And that's of course coming from, especially the I would say quote unquote experienced entrepreneurs who are coming, and technical entrepreneurs coming from big enterprises.
Yes,
they're building their product with the same mindset of the
big
enterprise that they're coming from.
Exactly,
and that basically
they don't have the luxury of that.
Yeah, the only asset,
the big enterprise still has thousands of products making them money every day. They can go slow.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's and they can afford that, of course, in many different ways because they already have the cash cow, and that's also another thing that entrepreneurs need to really have in mind. Your only asset that you have as an entrepreneur building a new startup is speed. That's it, not the money. Because enterprises would have more money than you, not the smarts. They have lots of smart people, right? Not even the market insight, because they're probably also seeing what you're seeing.
Exactly,
it's just you being able to move fast, and that actually brings me back to the mindset as also the driver of that. And maybe I'll share a story around this, and it's an interesting story. So, my startup started as a software optimization company. So if you're deploying something to the cloud, how do we make it cheaper and perform better?
Right.
So we started building the product. I made lots of mistakes, but anyways, at month number 6, I got an email from AWS. Back then, at the beginning of the 6th month, we had $100,000 from AWS. So month number 6, the AWS sent us an email saying, oh, how are you going to pay the $25,000 that you owe us? And I told them, oh, what's going on? Why is that? They said, no, you overused the infrastructure and now you owe us $25,000. Of course, it's ironic because we are a company that are supposed to help others optimize their own software. And yet we made the mistake that we're calling everyone not to do. Anyways, and this is, of course, a learned lesson. You need to look at yourself and really just laugh at yourself and move on. But one of the things that really slowed me down significantly, it took me almost 4 weeks just to mentally recover and start, thinking of what's next. And the reason is because we're almost running out of money. I thought this is just the first event that is going to kill my company, and that's it. And I thought that I'm going to be yet another number in the statistics of failing companies. But it took me a long time. Now, moving forward 4 years after, same company, and we were about to be acquired. That exact same situation that I just mentioned a few minutes ago.
A different product.
We pivoted. It's the same company, but we pivoted. Now, the company was about to acquire us, and as I said, they backed off in 2 hours.
Right.
The 2 hours, sorry, after
2 hours before.
right before the signing the LOI.
Yeah.
And it took me actually only 4 hours to recover. And what I did, because I took the LOI draft and I kept shopping around with other companies. And no one knew that actually the acquiring company backed off.
Right.
Just in 2 days, I had another company interested to buy our company, and we got lucky and we sold it.
That's
You
good.
see, that's the difference in mindset. The only difference that both situations.
But it's not luck. You know what I mean? Like, you can call it luck, but it was action, and like you said, speed, right?
Yep.
You had an LOI, it fell through, right? So you took that LOI, you brought it to other people that would be interested. You know, I've got a similar thing happening right now in my business where we have this. I mean, it's the biggest deal that I've ever done. Maybe most people in B2B have ever done. And we've been working on it for about 2 years. It was supposed to launch last year. Then an acquisition happened in this company. And they say, okay, well, once the acquisition is complete, then we can launch.
Okay.
And then, it's after the new year, the acquisition will be complete and we'll launch. Today's the 9th. We have not launched. So now what do? I take this and I go to, okay, hey, look, we were going to launch with these guys, but, they're dragging their feet. So I wanted to bring it to your attention, blah, blah, blah. So that's, that's what you do. Because otherwise we're just going to sit and wait and, oh man, I wish we would have launched, and oh man, I can't believe they backed down. No,
exactly.
You've got two choices. It's two choices. You give up or you get through it, and that's the difference between a real entrepreneur and a wannabe, right? The wannabes are the ones that they throw in the towel and they they give up. Real entrepreneurs, they don't fail in the first year because there is no way to fail unless they have the wrong product. But if they have the wrong product, they just pivot. I had the wrong product when I started my company. The first 30 days, we didn't sell a thing. Zero. I had a week of money left. We've pivoted to a different product, and we were profitable company within another 30 days.
Yeah, here we go.
And we could have easily been like, oh, the company didn't work, the product didn't work, and
and you can find others telling you're just going and find a real job. And
I've been told that my whole life. I had one real job, and that was when I was 14. I worked at a pizza place, and that was my only W-2 job ever. After that, I had I sold for Verizon, 100% commission, and then this job, 100% commission, and credit card processing and funding, and I never had a real job. My mom she stopped saying it maybe 2 years ago.
Look, I'll tell you this, Shaheen, this is also another, maybe I came from the other side, which is, I had quote unquote real jobs for a long enough time.
Yeah.
But one thing that I learned, and I would really encourage others to think about it, those who are working in big companies, once you have the taste of freedom, you're not gonna basically feel that this is a real job anymore.
Yep.
The taste of freedom, because it means that you do not have to have a manager to basically please him or her, with all due respect, and to those managers. But you are now objectively working to solving a real problem in the market. And if you have a good product, everyone will buy it. You're not going to get a promotion because someone likes you, or not get it because someone dislikes you.
Politics and
politics, all of that.
Yeah.
And that makes you always on check, makes you always, I would say, mentally fit.
Yeah.
You do not get,
because everything is in your control. You put in the work, you get the reward. It's a great thing.
You can there's a formula that you can work with, right? One way or another. I'm not saying that working with big companies is a bad thing. They're just a different mindset.
Somebody's got to do it, right?
Exactly. At the end of the day, yes, of course,
100%. For some people, that's more. So, like, for example, my little brother, he was an entrepreneur. He started his first business in high school We helped him start this scooter company. He was selling motorcycles and scooters and ATVs, and he grew it to a few stores, and they were doing a few million, doing really well. And then when he got his master's degree, he decided, I don't I don't want to. I'm working 24/7. Something I don't really enjoy. I don't really care. I like riding motorcycles, but I don't enjoy running the store and doing, oil changes. And he's like, this is not for me. So, a company like Chewy is like, come work in our finance department. We'll give you 250,000 a year. And he's in the office a couple days a week. And, it's, these big companies nowadays, they're hiring these young people, and they've got food courts and Starbucks and massage chairs and pool halls and video games. It's like you're going to Disneyland when you go into these corporate offices now. It's a joke. It's a joke. And it's crazy. He loves it because he went from the other side of being an entrepreneur 24/7, 24/7, go, 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 go. And now he's like, man, this is great. I get my work done, in just a few hours. And then the rest of the week, I, play pool and eat good food. And,
as long as he's happy with it, this is
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
But,
yeah. And he's loving it. I don't think he's going to be there forever. I think he's way too smart and has a big impact that he can make on the economy and in the world. And I think he will do amazing things. But for right now, his kids are young. He gets to take them to school every day, see them every day as soon as they get home. It's perfect for right now.
Absolutely.
So
let them think of it as a pit stop.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what they do. They don't want to be. They're not going to be in Seattle forever. All our families here on the East Coast and in England, and so it's an adventure for now, right? Daddy's home all the time. He's happy. He's not working 24/7. They're still living a good life.
Let them enjoy it, and you make the money.
Exactly. So Mo, you guys have been helping primarily companies in the tech space scale, get to a point where they can then exit, whether it go IPO or get acquired by someone. What are the different? You mentioned you had a new book that came out. Is there anything else that you have for our listeners and our viewers that can help them within their entrepreneur journey or their business?
Absolutely. Now we're building a community called Boundless Founder Community, and that community has lost tons of resources. Those are either guides for an entrepreneur who's just getting started to basically just have a real check with themselves about their business and whether their business is going to grow or not, or whether entrepreneurship is for them or not. This is just to get started.
Right.
But the community has other courses and resources on how to take your business from just an idea to a multi-million-dollar business, like sales and training courses and marketing courses. And also there are others, I would say, sales acceleration tactics and strategies that we're sharing with our community. And
Great.
Specifically for your, for your audience, we're giving them 20% discount. If they, we're going to send the code so that you can share it with them. We're going to give them a 20% discount if they use that link and that code to join our community. And I'm happy to, have, free sessions with some of them, maybe the first 5 that can come to our community through you.
Great.
And we would like to see people successful. That's what's really fulfilling for all of us.
Absolutely. Our success is, I love, the one thing I love about what we do is when our clients are successful, we become more successful, right? And people are like, well, if they make more money, how do you make more money? Well, if we help them make more money, they're going to refer us to their friends and their family and their business partners and their, you know what I mean? It always reciprocates. Whenever you help someone, you always get it back. It doesn't matter what way you help someone, whether it's business, whether it's just being kind, whatever, it's always comes back tenfold.
It's karma. Exactly. And I just say, just for the sake of, again, doing good and as you said, it's going to come back to you. it can come in different ways. Not everything
Yes,
is in money. Sometimes it's
exactly.
people coming back, thanking you, feeling that you had
Yeah,
a really positive impact on them. That worth a
yeah,
while. I mean, imagine that someone is giving you whatever, $100,000 for a deal, but you feel that they don't want to talk with you again. Would that be
exactly.
really something that you want versus someone,
No,
maybe you're not taking any money out of
right,
them, but they're just thanking you and they feel truly deeply that
right.
they
That
are,
you made an impact in their life.
that's
Yep.
what counts.
There's nothing more valuable. Yep,
Exactly.
absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Well, Mo, it's been great talking to you today. It's what? It's only 4 o'clock there in Seattle, right?
It is, yeah. It's still,
Wow,
luckily, we still have some sunshine here. Today is sunny.
nice. Here it's a little past dinner time, so I'm gonna grab some dinner. I hope you have a great night, and I can't wait to talk to you again soon. I'll make sure everybody has the link so they can check out your community, and I'll also put the link for the book in there. And I can't wait to hear about the other books that are coming out. It sounds like a great thing that you're doing, man.
Well,
So
thank you very much,
great
Shane. I
work.
look forward
Absolutely.
for us to chat again.
Absolutely. Take care, Mo. We'll talk soon.